Well, hello, hello. We're back for more Other Ink Thursday, and I'm so stoked because I'm joined by Bridgett Jeffries, podcaster, writer, LARPer, maestro of Symphony Entertainment. Your title's go award show host. That's one thing I want to ask you about. We're gonna go on. There's a whole list of things. Bridgett, it's been like 2 years since I talked to you on my show,
Yeah.
and and in that time, I think we haven't said more than like three sentences in passing in like an elevator or something like
Right,
that
like
at
baby,
cons.
baby. Me jumping over your booth to hug you and then getting strewn away, or yeah. We
Or
pass
we
each
happened
other
to be in an
constantly.
elevator at the same time and there was like an awkward moment was discussed, but there was like, okay, now the awkward moment is discussed. Now we're on our floors. Bye. Hope to see
Bye.
you
Love
later in
you.
the con.
Bye.
So I'm like, I, the only way I'm going to get to talk to you is I'm going to have to like book some time and get you on my interview show because then I can actually talk to you for like
Yes.
longer than like, we're going
More
to
than
our
like
different
passing
events.
each other like two ships in the night at a con. Yes, I know. But baby, it's you, and I absolutely love you. So when an email comes from you saying, "Hey, do you want to come on my show?" It's like, yeah. What are we talking about? When are we doing? Let's book it.
Well, what are we talking about? Because like my
Oh,
basic thing is like, what have you been up to since like for like 2 years ago? Because
oh,
like the
Jesus.
things that I know that you've been up to, other than like you got a day job in games, which
Uh huh.
is continuing on. I
Yep.
actually got this handout thing at PAX Unplugged. Matt was handing them
Ooh.
out, so like this is Chaosium's doing Vikings now apparently. So you probably know
Yes.
about that, I
Uh-huh.
assume,
Yeah,
since
yeah,
it's
yeah, yeah.
your
I
this
am aware of that one. Yes.
so day job, in
Hmm.
games, cool, very
Yep.
rare, exalted position. That never going home thing you wrote for me about a creepy village finally came out.
Yes, it did. It came out this year, baby. Yes, it did.
We could, we
Yes,
could,
it did.
you could talk through that if you want. Uh, you've hosted the ENNIES twice since the last time I talked to you.
Yep, that
So
was this year
like
too, which is
that's
wild.
like one of the bigger stages that exists in TTRPGs, and
Yeah.
you're up there striding it like a goddess, and commanding the audience to laugh and applaud on your whims. So that's been incredible to be in the
That's been
audience
a
for
thing.
that for two
Yeah, yeah,
years.
yeah, yeah.
And what else is on my list? Oh, Symphony Entertainment continues. You're inventing
Mm-hmm.
new ways for people to creep themselves out
Yeah.
at your channel. Like you could
That's
do the
such a good
improvised
articulation.
horror thing, and you're bringing in different formats. Like
Mm-hmm.
every time you post something, it's like, oh, this is a new format that Bridget has invented to like have somebody do stuff.
Yeah.
Or is it what it feels like. And lastly, I only got 5 fingers, so I'm going to do 5 things.
And that's good. That's good. That's good. We got
The
it.
last one is you've been going to all these vampire LARPs. And like
Yes.
as the way that I've been hearing it, like you're running like a whole sub kingdom over. I don't even know how vampires divided up. I don't
Sub
know how it
Kingdom.
happened, but like you started with like I've never been to a vampire LARP before. Oh, now I run
And now
Chicago.
I do LARPs. Yes.
Like
Yes.
so, like
You got a good
or,
list,
or it's
baby. That's a
Atlanta. I don't know
good
where
list.
you run everywhere, but like so anyway, those are the 5 things that I know you've been up to, and
Yeah.
we could talk about any and all of that
Ooh. Okay.
that you want to talk about because like
Let's
you're crushing it in every quadrant.
I appreciate that. Genuinely, I appreciate that. And listen, I wouldn't be crushing it if I didn't have the support of people. And this is not me being funny. With the support of people like you in the audiences, in the chats, in the discords, in the YouTube channels, on your podcast. Like it's honestly a village raising a kid at this point. This is not me just out here doing like I'm Superman. No, I'm being held up by a lot of people in the community. You being one of them, and that's something that I genuinely appreciate. So genuinely, thank you. Okay, of these 5 things, what's most interesting to you right now? What feels most entertaining at 11 a.m. on a random Tuesday morning? It is
I
Tuesday, right?
don't know. They're all
Yeah.
they're all like they're all like a thing. Like I don't know. I did an interview series. I did several interviews post Gen Con
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
earlier on my channel. So like I was asking people about all different aspects of Gen Con, their experience, right? So like
Yeah.
this is sort of like going to be the stealth secret episode of that series, I guess, if I ask
Oh,
you about the Ennies,
yes.
because like I talked to one of the judges, right,
Mm-hmm.
who's been very public about like to Clayton Notestein,
Okay.
you've been very public about like, hey, I'm on the judges panel this year. I'm going to talk about the inside process. And so you just because nobody knows what it is, it's all a big
Yeah.
blank. It's all a big
Well, hell, let's lean in there. That sounds like we've got a good directionality. Let's go with finger number. I think that was 4. Let's do Ennies. Let's do Ennies and Gen Con. Let's do a look back on Gen Con 2025. Let's do that one. That'd be
Yeah,
so
yeah,
good to
yeah.
start.
Well, but it starts the year before because you that was your second year of
Yeah.
doing it. So like, I mean, I like they have a judges process, right? And
Mm-hmm.
like they have to vet the judges and you vote. I guess you vote the year before on the judges that are going to be the judges for the next year or whatever. But
Yep.
like I assume the ceremony does not have like a lot of I mean, I can't imagine that they made you like audition or anything like that. They're just like, "Hey, you want to like read these cue cards?" And you were like, "Yeah, let me read. I got you. I could read cue cards."
Okay, wait.
Well,
Okay, I
like,
know exactly where we are now. Hold on. Let me make sure I have names correct before I jump out here looking crazy, and then I'll jump. Okay, so here is the quick and dirty on Bridgett at the Ennies for 2024 and 2025. So my very first Gen Con ever was Gen Con 2024. Because I was always afraid to go to that convention because it was too large. I was like, "There's too
it,
many people. I'm not doing
it's real
100,000
big.
people. I ain't doing. My I pretend to be extroverted. I am introverted at my soul. That's way too many damn people. I'm not doing it." So I went with Chaosium, which was a very easy point of onboarding because they handle my badge, they handle my hotel, they handle my programming. I don't have to fight with a lottery. They're an exhibitor and blah blah blah. So I was like, well, if I'm gonna do it, I might as well do it with a company that I feel safe with that will onboard me. So I'm slotted in for Gen Con 2024. Matt, give me a second. Am I lying to you? How many times have I done Gen Con? This was just my second year,
I
right?
I
I think this
think
is just my
I
second year.
played that game of home with you in 2023, so
Was
that
it
may have been your
2023? So
first
that might
year.
have been my first year. Yeah, 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 because we were in my hotel room.
Hmm.
So that was 2023. So that was my first year. So thank you. Dates and everything that happened post
You
pandemic
know,
were.
there's been like there's like time has collapsed into one date, two
I know,
dates,
baby.
like in the last 6 years or whatever it is,
I know, gorgeous, and it's a weird
there's
accordion of
now and
just
there's before.
yes, and we exist in those two bubbles. Jesus, good articulation. Okay, so 2023 was my first year. I go back with 2024. Now somewhere let's say 3 or 4 months before Gen Con, which is, July, August of 2024, Stacy of the Ennies reaches out to me and she goes, "Hey, your name has crossed my radar a few different times from a few different people, and we wanted to invite you to come be the host for the Ennies." And Bridgett was so overwhelmed and starstruck that I just read a host for the Ennies. And I was like, "Yeah, absolutely. I'm on it. Let's do it." I didn't realize she meant the host. I thought she was just talking about like one of those people that comes up and presents 3 or 4 awards and goes sit
Yeah,
back
yeah,
down,
yeah.
not like the actual MC of the event. I didn't realize I was the MC. And again, we're all most of us in gaming are neurospicy in some type of fun direction. My happy ass ran right past that and didn't understand that I was going to be the host. So it went out publicly, and I still didn't understand that I was the host. And then one of my coworkers, Nick Brook at Chaos, was like, "Oh my God, Bridget, I can't believe you're the host for the Ennie." I was like, "No, I'm just a host." He's like, "It literally says you're the host for the Ennie." So now I'm going back and looking at the announcement like, oh, I don't have to be cute for like 3 awards. I have to care for the entirety of the show. So then, of course, the panic sets in and insecurity and the imposter syndrome and everything that comes with most opportunities that were given. What was given to me ahead of time, Matthew? Nothing. Nothing. Nothing was given to me at all. Not a damn thing. Nathan was given to me. So I'm hitting up Stacy, who's busy as hell. Mind you, this is volunteer based
Sure.
organization. I'm like, how do you want me to do this? And she's like, however you want to. And let me tell you, that's super empowering to some people. It's super demoralizing to other people when you
Mm.
just go do whatever you want and you don't actually give directionality. And if you're me, that pendulum swings on the day. You give me all the creative freedom, I will rock and roll. If you don't give me any directionality, I will shut down. My pendulum just continued to swing back and forth. So I sat down and I was just like, okay, I'm overwhelmed, I'm scared, and I don't know what to do for, 3 hours on stage at the Ennies. What can I do to either theme this or package it or do something where I have some type of directionality? And it just kind of settled in my spirit. The one thing I enjoy doing is celebrating other people. That's like something I genuinely
Yeah.
enjoy doing is being other people's hype people or bringing new traffic or business to people or highlighting or celebrating people. So I was just like, I'm just going to do what I'm good at. And I'm going to do what I'm enjoying and what I enjoy. And then maybe this won't be as bad. So you were on this list. Matthew, I got a list from Stacy of every single person that was nominated. And I sent them an email blast going, "Hey, I'm your host. I don't have any content, so I'm just going to make the content about you. Please send me fun facts about you, fun facts about your company. Tell me something you want me to celebrate about you on stage." And 80% of the people responded back going like, oh, I would love if you highlight the fact that I got married this year. I would love if you highlight that I suffered a loss this year. I would love if you highlighted the fact that we got an innie last year. I would love if you tell this fun story about, and that's what I did. That was 2024. All of my content was how to celebrate other people because I didn't know what else to do, and that felt the most authentic to my character, but also the best thing for the industry. And that was
My
2024.
character. I love that you say it that way because that's like kind of like I do the same thing. Like
Mm-hmm.
I've been in a battle for years about like whether or not I'm introverted or extroverted or whatever, and I don't know if that really it's
Uh huh.
simplistic, but certainly when I go to a convention and I'm like in my booth and here's my products, I'm
Yeah.
like that is a version of myself
Mm-hmm.
that is there to do that job,
Yep.
and like it is sort of like it doesn't matter.
Mm-mm.
It, like it, I it's a role that I can inhabit, right? And it's like turn
Correct.
it on. I'm here at my booth, gonna
Yeah.
talk about my games, and like
Yeah.
there's like a feedback, not a feedback loop necessarily. It's like an anti-feedback loop, right? Where
Right,
it's
right,
like
right. You get
like
this.
my day, my reality, like whether or not I actually like feel like talking to these people,
Correct.
immaterial, does not matter. That's in the back seat. In the front
Yeah.
seat is me here doing this work,
Yeah.
and like that is. I don't know, self-fulfilling in a
Yeah.
way, and
Very
stuff
much
like
so.
that. So like
Mm-hmm.
you're like, I don't know how to be a host, so I'm gonna play the role of a host in this big live stream game that we're doing.
Yeah. Yeah. And just lean onto the tools that I do know that I do have, and on the same reason that we're here. When you're at a booth, you're there to celebrate a product. If I'm sitting on the stage at the Ennies, it kind of dawned on me I'm here to celebrate creators and
Yeah.
just kind of rock. Total side note, just really fast. One, I freaking love the red nail polish on you right now. Every time your hands come in the screen, it makes Bridgett so incredibly happy. I have a whole thing about mint and fingernail polish, and that red looks really good on you. The second thing is one thing that I love about stopping by your booth, because if you notice, if I'm at a convention, no matter how busy I am, I will find a way to get past the wedding games booth, and I'm usually only there for like 30 seconds or a minute.
It's yeah.
But I will always take pictures of you guys because it's important, and I know you can get really busy and not get your photos. And I will always be there just to almost like tap into the electricity or the charge,
Mm.
just because it's so authentic between you and Brandon and Sarah. Like, there's just so much energy and love and celebration at that booth that I can stop by and be like, I see you, you see me, I'm here to be loud, let me take some photos, and I'm sorry I have to go. But I can come in there and almost like recharge
Mm.
and retreat simultaneously and get my hugs and then just be like, you guys are still incredibly awesome, and then move on about my day. If you notice, if I'm at a convention, I will always stop by your booth. I'll do everything I can to at least stop by your booth, unless it's Gen Con, because I'm not walking 76 miles to get back there
Yeah,
to
yeah.
say hi. It's too hard. That's a 30-minute event.
We it's a long way. Uh, uh, it's a long way from every booth at Gen Con is a long way from everywhere else.
All of them. It's the other side of town, and that's tiring. Like, shit, I got shit to do.
the so
Hmm.
so I think in that first year that you did it at the Ennies, that was the
Hmm.
year that like Kelsey won all those awards for like Shadow
Hell
Dark and like had
yes.
that whole posse of people standing in their
Yeah.
chairs and cheering and stuff like that. And like that, I don't know, the Ennies are such a in some way, I mean, whatever. I mean, it's a manufactured event and
Hmm.
like whatever it is. But like one of the reasons I like to go is that sort of like, yeah, these people made a game. Good for them. It's hard to make a game. Cheer for them. They made one, and then like,
Yes.
and then if somebody gets to make, the judges or the audience or whatever, I guess it's by then the voters. Or the voters
The voters.
decided that this is
Yeah.
the best one, fine, whatever. But there were still five people who made a game in this
Yeah.
category, at
That got
least five,
recognized,
and
nominated,
all of them
celebrated.
get
Yes.
applause, because it's hard to make a game. And like that sort of like attitude coming into the Ennies is just like as cheer for everybody because it's hard to make a game
It is.
is I think that's one of the most fun things about the Innies, and then
Yeah.
that's like has been your whole like thing for your period of
Hmm.
hosting, so
Yeah. It's celebrating creators because let me tell you, we don't get enough of it anyways. And it's hard to create. And let me tell you, 2025 has been a mess. 2024 was also a mess.
uh-huh.
Actually, the after has been a mess on so many different frequencies. So to be able to button down and be creative, to publish, to get something out the door, to finish in this economy, My God, it's worth celebrating. It's
Yeah.
absolutely worth celebrating. And that was one of my big things that I closed with the 2024 Ennies on, because it can be very heartbreaking when you pour your soul into something and it doesn't get nominated. It's very easy to feel ignored, put aside, neglected, underrepresented, unseen. And that was one of my big finishing points of the 2024 Ennies, is like, if you cross the finish line, it doesn't matter whether I called your name or anyone called your name up here on the stage. You finished something, and that is absolutely worth celebrating. You conquered a lot of fear and embodied a lot of stress to finish something, and that alone is worth celebrating.
Yeah. That's such a I yeah, I remember that message, and it's still true. And like this
Mm-hmm.
year, we were talking about it a little bit before we started recording. Like this year has
Yeah.
been this year's been even more of a year than
Yeah.
2024
Yes, it
was.
has. Yeah.
And so 2026 is in. He's I don't know, like everybody's gonna need even more hype for themselves come 2026 Ennies, because like it is, or award, well, the whole award season, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Yeah. Yeah.
it's award season, right? Like
I know. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I
Heard.
mean, but there's like nine at
Mm-hmm.
least TTRPG awards, so
Mm-hmm.
like
Mm-hmm.
it's there's a
There's a
season.
whole thing. There's a season for it. Yeah, and then conventions are typically, or have, or will, or are rolling out their own specific award ceremony. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Plenty of opportunities to be recognized and celebrated. And I think those moments are important wherever they are.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was me onboarding to the NES 2024. Nope, I didn't get any directionality. They didn't give me any cue cards. All you get, baby, is an iPad that has a PowerPoint slide presentation that you just click and it
Well, it's the
follows.
same one that's going up on the thing, right?
It's that. That's the only thing. So I'm learning them for the very first time, because when they have the hosts arrive like 45 minutes before the show starts. So you're getting either mic'd up or sound check, or you're running around, or you're trying not to like cry in the bathroom, or going through everything. So you don't even have time to go through the list to see who won. You're pretty much learning it on stage in real time. Your entire life is sitting in front of an iPad that's tied to a screen behind you.
Well, you did great, and
Thank
they
you.
asked you back, and you did great again. And so I don't know if you're on. I don't know if you can say or anything, but what's 2026? They haven't asked yet or
No, they
whatever. But
haven't asked
like,
yet. They asked me for 2025, babe. I kid you not, like 3 or 4 months before the show again. So I guess I'll start like just circling my email around, I don't know what, March, April. Are we gonna go 3 for 3? I really doubt they're gonna have me do it 3 times in a row. That's 2 in a row was already monumental for me. 3 in a row, I don't know. I don't think they can. I
well,
don't
I
think they'll do it
mean,
3 times in a row. We'll see.
I don't know. Now you've put up a new a new version of what it can be. So like everybody's got to have to figure out like how they're going to catch up.
Thank you. I appreciate it. If nothing else, if I'm not the host, you will hear me, because I'll either be sitting at your table or sitting next to your table in that like VIP section in the pit. So either way, you're stuck with me.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, I look forward to it.
Me too. Me too. Me too.
All right. I want to ask you about some other. Look, I think we want to do real quick.
Yeah,
I
real
want to
fast.
ask you about the Never Going Home thing that you wrote, like I don't
Yeah,
know, 2 years ago now, 3 years ago, how long it was
I
ago.
know. I
Like
know.
you're just like, all right, I'm gonna take in my. This is the jet. This is teasing, but
Yeah.
like in the most loving kind of way. It's like, oh, Pickman's model. What if that happened in France? Like. And you're just like you just put some mythos stuff like in the woods
Yeah.
but talking about like not having any direction and not having any guidance like for those missions
Hmm.
for the Never Going Home stuff, it's like this is probably the last big box of Never Going Home stuff we're going to do, so do whatever
Yeah.
you want. And you're like, okay, how about I make a situation where like you can just ignore the war and just like end up living there under the porch with like Grandpa Pierre if you want to. Like I'm not your boss.
Right.
This is your game. Do whatever you want.
Tell your own
And
stories. Let me know how it goes.
and so I'm like, great. I don't, this
Hmm.
is so this got classed into the endings collection, right? So
Yes.
we did a monsters collection, a machines collection, and then the endings collection. That
Endings
was the
collection.
three that came out of there, and yours ended up in the endings collection because
Hmm.
it's like it's a mysterious end where like you go, do you join with the
Right.
weird lurkers or not? Like
Right.
it's
You
I guess
redefine home.
spoilers for
Who do
this
you
one
join?
mission that came out a few months ago or whatever, but like I don't know what else do you want to say about it or talk about it a little bit about like inspirations and like because I mean, it's not just that one Lovecraft story recapitulated, right? It's
No,
you're doing your
the
own thing and you're doing, setting is important and all that kind of stuff. So like what
yeah. So really fast, I think if I were talking to not you and I was speaking to somebody else, I'm just going to pretend like I'm talking to somebody that wasn't the person that employed me to do this. So I would say super fast, working with Wedding Games is a very supportive process. One, because they give you a lot of freedom and they will give you directionality if you ask for it or you know how to ask for it. Wedding Games pays really well, which is awesome. Pay your creators when you can. And also, I can vouch for the quality of the product that Wedding Games is going to put out, especially when it comes from art and art direction. You guys crush that 10 out of 10 out of 10 out of times. So I felt a lot of pride about being invited back to work with Wedding Games. I know I'm talking like you're not Wedding Games. Felt a lot
right,
of
right,
pride
right.
of being invited back because I had written for you guys a few times before with Home and
You did a
the
doggo's adventure
doggos.
too.
So like I have kind of like the pacing on what to expect going back and forth. So I'm comfortable in that environment. And again, you guys pay well, especially if I could tell you some stories about the industry for you guys being a small business. So blah 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 blah. Where I got the inspiration for that scenario was actually Graham Walmsley wrote a book called Stealing Mythos, Stealing Cthulhu, Stealing Lovecraft, and Stealing Something. And basically, his entire argument of philosophy here is you don't actually have to reinvent the wheel. You can tell really great stories by taking the scaffolding and then just shaking it up like a magic 8 ball or like a snow globe, looking where the pieces are and reformat. So, yeah, I absolutely pulled that from a Lovecraft story. I took the scaffolding and then I just kind of rearranged things to work into the setting that you guys gave me. Two major challenges. I'm not super familiar with World War One. I'm just not. So I didn't want to burden myself with trying to research or becoming an expert in the next 10 minutes on how to write this content. So I decided to put it adjacent to what was actually happening. That was
Yeah.
just safe for me. The second thing is I'm not overly familiar with it's the one plus mechanics, right?
Yeah, plus one system is what we call
Plus one systems. I'm not super familiar with that system, and thank God you guys didn't like pigeonhole me into a corner where I had to integrate the mechanics into the story. You allowed me just to tell the story, and then you guys like we'll handle the mechanics and implementation from there. And that was just a massive relief because again, I didn't have to go become a PhD on the plus one system or the
it.
mechanics
Right, right. I mean,
overnight to write the scenario.
we made up the system, so like we're the experts. Like you want to do this with the story? Great. That sounds like this kind of a role.
Correct,
Excellent.
and
We're done.
bam, and go from there. Oh, like at one point I sent you a draft and you came back. It's like, hey, this entire section will work out better in the front because we have this mechanic that does this. I was like, yep, and go. So I had a really good time writing that particular content. I won't do a lot of spoilers, but you guys allowed me to mess with kids in this one, and I'm saying that in a gentle way. This isn't like F them kids or a lot of children in peril, but you allowed me to work with youth in horror, and a lot of
Hmm.
people are kind of like hands off with that one. And there's something about fog and mist and family and
Hmm.
seclusion that just make this really great pocket of and you guys let me play in that area and you kind of let me explore in it, and I genuinely enjoyed writing that content. Also, the last thing I'll say very briefly is um you guys didn't have an expectation that I had to saturate my word count. That entire content was what, 1,800 words, 2,500 words.
Well, I don't. I think the way it's like 2,000 to 3,000 or something like that was our like request,
It's
and
bam,
like
which is tight, which is means I don't have to stress myself out a lot about trying to fill out blah blah blah. I can leave that to a lot of GM imagination and kind of go. It's difficult to write with a shorter word count because that's a 4 hour game. I could run that game in 4 hours easily. It's
yeah, yeah,
difficult to work in that small window, but it also gives you a lot of freedom to just kind of step away and let things be. Yeah,
yeah.
thank you
It's
again for that opportunity, and thank you for the work. Seriously, I got lights. I got bills. I got dogs. Thank you for the work.
well, you know, yeah. It's a it's a pleasure to bring in such a wide variety of creators because
hmm
like I mean this set that you worked on was like I don't know 18 different creators or something like that,
It's a lot.
and they person is bringing in their own
hmm
history and connections to the material or the connections to the system or their experience with stuff outside the system or
Yep.
their like they're like, I don't know anything about that. I'm going to do my own thing. And
Mm-hmm.
then like there's a little bit of like, and we'll make it related to it in this way,
Yeah.
and different things that people wanted to, and like it's like one of the ways that I like to be more hands
Mm-hmm.
off is because like I don't need to tell somebody like here's 3 pages of research material that I did. I want you to use my system that I developed to turn that into exactly this
Yeah.
jigsaw puzzle to fit these 3 other things that other people are writing. Like that,
Yeah.
if I, it'd be easier to do that myself than to explain it to somebody,
You're
So
not
like if
wrong.
that's what I
Yep.
wanted, that I could just do that.
Do
But
it
I don't
myself.
want that. What I want is like here's roughly what's going on. You've seen the art.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the a little bit of SRD. You can use
Play
the
the
rules as
game,
much as you
stream it.
want.
Yep.
And then you bring in the rest because I can't do that. I can't bring in the rest that each
Yeah.
of the writers brings in.
Yeah.
I get the weirder ideas come from the people who I'm not telling them what to do,
Yeah.
because like they're bringing their own stuff to it, and then you put all that together. I mean, it is my work to like then make it all fit within the game and the rule set and the timeline and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And then we put it on a shelf together, and it's like, oh, this has got some weird stuff in it. I'm like, yeah, it's because I asked Bridget and John and
Hey,
Taylor
Graham, and yes.
and all the people. They all brought something weird,
Yeah.
and so
Yeah, but that's a
it's
great way
great.
to empower your creators, baby. And genuinely, thank you. It's a great way for us to be allowed to preserve our voice and our
Mm,
approach to horror too. And I think that's another cool thing about that particular set is just like everyone has, to your point, a very different approach to what horror meant in that particular setting.
mm, yeah. And especially with that one, and I didn't even that I was talking about the monsters and the machines and the endings. Like,
Yes.
that's not like a request that came from me. That was me like sorting into categories what people did. And it was like,
Yep.
oh, these are all like the haunted printing press and the ambulance driver and those are all like machines and like
Machines.
the code
Yeah.
breaker network. Those are all part of the machines thing because that's what
Yeah.
connects this pile of ones that people did. But
Yeah.
then we had people who were trying to escape the war through like transportation to some other place,
Mm-hmm.
magically. And then we had your adventure, which kind of ends in sort of like this weird emotional cul-de-sac sort of situation in the
Ooh, a
woods,
word
and it's
choice.
like, that's on exit to the war. So then
Yeah.
like all of those endings, how does the
Mm-hmm.
war end for your character is like those are all things that different people were exploring. So then those got
Conclusions.
collected into a collection as well. And so
Yeah.
again, like that just is the most logical sense of how those things went together, not I want a bunch of endings,
Right.
just
Right.
different people were exploring it. So,
Yeah, way to keep the menu diverse on that one, baby. That's pretty
mm,
cool. I love that you retroactively was like, I can categorize these this way. I, other people might have done forward facing. I need these 3 categories.
yeah.
Find one to shift in, but you're like, nah. Let them run all the way off leash. I'll follow them, and we'll see if I can find mutual destinations for these collections of
Well,
this collection of content. And you did.
well, right, and it's best fit. It's a scatter plot with a best fit line that it's not perfect, but it doesn't have to be perfect. Like that's part of the thing.
Oh, it
Uh,
doesn't have to be perfect. You know what it is? Complete it. You know
mm,
what you did? Put money into creators' pockets. You know what it is? Sitting on a shelf. You know what it is right now? Out and
out,
available. That's what it
released.
is.
Yeah,
Yep.
so we're talking about this collection that Bridget's Adventure is in. I can't actually is it the village it's the village of Oubliette, right? But I can't remember
Yeah.
the actual name in the mission. I should have looked that up, but the collection it's in is a fair faint scent is the name of the collection that Bridget's Adventure appears in. If you want
Yep.
to go check it out, I definitely will put links to it in this video
I was gonna say that, yeah, and
description.
I'll do the same on my end too, because I
Yeah, yeah,
honestly
yeah.
can't remember the title right now either. I remember the village name, but I can't remember the actual.
Village. Is that the Village of Outcasts? That's a movie, right? Anyway,
That's
uh,
so funny. I'm not gonna stare at Google and try to look it up real
yeah,
fast.
yeah,
But
yeah,
yes,
yeah.
we will find it. It's a
It,
title, guys. It's probably not a good one. I'm not good at titles, but the content's fine.
the content's great. Um, All right, let's see if we can cover some of these other things.
Okay, let's do it.
Let's, you want to talk about LARP? You want to talk about this vampire thing you've been doing? Because,
Yeah.
like, I see your pictures of, like, you in costume. I see you're like, oh, I'm on the way to this city. I'm on the way to that city. And then, like, so there's, like, this is Bridgett Jeffries on an airplane with, like, her like, iPods going to Las Vegas, right? And
Yeah.
then,
Uh
like,
huh.
later in the day, you're like, hey, vampire lord so and so is here at the like taking over the city, and it's like is this also in LA or like is this like there's like this I never know, right? And
Yeah.
then like I don't know if you're playing multiple consistent games like oh I was an NPC last year in this game and
Oh,
so that's why I was there and then like now I'm playing my own character at this other event but it's technically all in the same world so like if I'd been my character I would have met my other character there but
right.
I don't know. Maybe it's a completely different organization because like Atlanta's closer to you than Las Vegas, but you know, you got to travel to, so like you're in your home network. Th- I'm making up a bunch of stories about how like I explain all these different things I've seen of you. So like, why
Yeah.
don't you tell me the reality of like what it is and like I'm not like you came in at the top of this organization is what it feels like. And maybe that's just like
Social media perception is wild.
right. So like tell me how you got in because like it's a total fit for you for your like I want to go do this embodied experience. I want to
Yes.
feel this. I want to
Yes.
like look somebody else in the eye and like flash my fangs at them and then drink
Yeah.
a big goblet of, you know, blood and
The
like I mean
blood.
that's stuff that I can totally see that appeals to you as a
Mm-hmm.
player and as a person. Um, but then what else about Vampire and like taking it I mean this is not just the LARP side of it all
Yeah.
is and I'm sure there's the org like I've hinted at the organization I know that
Mm-hmm.
like which clan you're in is a really important part of Vampire and so
Yeah.
like then how does that work out in like organization like I don't know you tell me what is how deep does this rabbit hole go
I tell you what, Matt, you did an actually pretty decent job with like I can see our board coming together. Some of the red strings that you have tied from like this event to this, I just need to like unpin and just swing it like one over to the left. But I think you did a pretty decent job about it. Okay, baby, the fastest way for me to kind of reduce all of that down to something we can put in a single shot glass and kind of take back. So, I work professionally in gaming. So, obviously, I love gaming. My favorite genre is horror. I love horror gamings. And one of the things that speaks to me most about horror is the personal horror and the full immersion. That's just something I genuinely enjoy exploring in games. I like hurting. I like hurting other people. I like myself getting hurt. I enjoy crying. I enjoy the sensation of my nervous system flying off the walls. I enjoy feeling like I am an active participant in a world that I don't actually have a grip on, but I lie to myself and I do. So it's one of those things that I enjoy. So just from a super fast, there's for me, there's tabletop role playing, conventions, friends, blah 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 blah, and there's kind of like that. The next level up for me, if we're looking at like I don't want to say a high chart, but like a higher intensity or the next level or the next line of like charge, is going to be podcasting and streaming. Mostly because those type of performances are performances, so you are bringing an extra X amount, 20%, 100%, 150%, because either you're being paid or you're entertaining an audience, or you're really deep diving in because there's a performance aspect to it. And I get really big charges and really big highs off of streaming and podcasting actual plays because of that energy, that jolt to the system, that immersion. The top of that mountain for me is LARPing because I'm sitting in pajama pants right now, but I did manage to put on a bra for this interview. Congratulations, everybody. But like me sitting here and getting really emotional and immersive, and I'm looking at you through a monitor, a Zoom screen, and I have to be, mindful of like if I yell into this mic, is it going to clip, or how hard
Mhm.
can I cry, or is this good timing for it, or am I sharing the spotlight? Blah 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 blah. Take all of that and suddenly, I'm in a corset, my hair is tied back, I'm wearing makeup, which is something I don't do like regularly in real life, and I have people in front of me, people that I can touch, people that I can encounter. That's like peak level of for me when it comes to performance. So that's why I LARP. Fastest rundown on what I'm doing with the Vampire LARP. So, baby, you have World of Darkness, which is a setting that's been around for what, 20, 30, 40, 50 years now. It goes deep as shit. It's been around. It's always going to be around, especially when you're looking at like the vampire thing. It's a very, very popular genre. So there are live action role play games that are inspired by that particular universe, that setting. I am in two, and this is where I'm just going to move a couple of your red strings on this board. Because I work in gaming, I didn't want to get to the point where I was resenting something that I loved. You know how they say
Yeah.
don't ever work in something that you love, or not, don't
Oh,
work in
yeah,
something you
yeah,
love.
yeah.
Don't monetize your hobbies.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm
Oops.
monetizing a hobby, right? So I didn't. I wanted to control my resentment and my exhaustion. So I made a point that my local vampire game was going to be my play space. That was always going to be recreation. That's where I go to retreat. That's where I go to relax. That is going to be the one place I know that I don't have to monetize. I don't have to worry about my, industry reputation. I don't have to worry about promoting Symphony. I can just go and be a player. So I am in a local vampire game that is a part of a much larger global network that goes all over the world. So it's one living chronicle that's been around for like 25 years. So no joke, Matt. Like my sire, my vampire, my daddy in Vampire was a real person. He actually passed away earlier this year, but he was a real person that had 25 years of history in the org. And those 25 years of history, because he was a very bad person, all landed on my character. And now I have to navigate that in real time. I might only be 3 years old in the org, but I have to navigate all the sins of my father,
Hmm.
who's not here in real life or in character anymore. But those stories matter to other people. Like I have uncles that are in the game. I have ties to people that I've never met, but people who are watching out for me because of allegiances with this person that isn't here anymore, or enemies that I have that hate me
Right,
because I'm the
right.
child of this person who they hated. But it's a 25-year living chronicle. Baby, that is my play space. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay. That's my play space. So a lot of times when you see me online saying I'm traveling, like I'm going to Milwaukee in January for a national event with my org, that's an event that's going to be in Milwaukee, and it's with everyone else who's in this living chronicle. I host one of these same events here in Columbus at Origins. It's the we call it Grand Elysium, and that's just another national event for that org. That's all playtime for me. That's all recreation. I also work with By Night Studios, which is the publishers of Laws of the Night right now that host these high-end designer boutique vampire experiences. That's where you saw me out in LA, or not LA. That's where you saw me out in Las Vegas,
Las
and that's where you
Vegas.
recently saw me here in Atlanta. These are paid gigs where they're either giving me an appearance fee, or they're paying for my travel, or my hotel, my badge, things of that nature. This is actually me going to work, and basically what they're doing is they're bringing in talent to help facilitate their story and their environment. So I have two different characters that were running in each of these environments, and yes, they could meet each other one day and they would probably hate each other and try to kill each other. But these characters are typically cultivated for a specific plot or a reason to help deliver an experience
Yeah.
for their attendees. Because these events are not cheap. Matthew, like the cheapest ticket is like $350 for the weekend. They are not cheap events, but you get a lot from them, from plot and development and story and immersion, and the production quality is dumb. And baby, I'm like a CD level rated influencer celebrity. Like they're bringing in people like fucking Jason Carl and B. Dave Walters and Mark Meir and Cynthia Marie. Like they bring in some really top shelf names to come in here and NPC for them, so their fans can connect with their favorite people from either LA by Night or what other games they have going in, and where we can help facilitate the experience for other players. So what you're seeing is a combination. There's only two wires I need to cross. You're seeing me running around LARPing for fun, or you see me running around LARPing for work. But either one of them are both Vampire LARPs, and those two organizations don't communicate or talk to each other at all. They're separate
Yeah.
entities.
They just both
Whew.
take place theory in the greater masquerade, right?
Correct. In the Greater Masquerade, they're all in the world of
Uh,
darkness.
so like with the, I mean, I'm imagining like I've done very little LARPing, but
Mm-hmm.
I know like how like setting up scenes and all that kind of
Uh
stuff
huh.
works. So like, is this the kind of thing that you for the personal game, is that the
Mm-hmm.
kind of thing with the one that has 25 years of legacy and stuff like
Yeah.
that? Is that like is that sort of like all done in character, or are there like, hey, our characters, like you'll get a message and be like, hey, I'm a secret uncle that like you haven't dealt with before, but I think the next event we should play a scene and then like bring in some other people, and then I can hand off some like, I think you're ready to take on this responsibility. I think your character's ready to take on this responsibility. So us as players, we're gonna work out how we're gonna like make that happen for our characters, and then
Mm-hmm.
that's all done ahead of time, and then you go and show up and then you play those scenes that you were workshopping, or is the feature like that the surprise happens at the event and you don't know, like I'm sure it's both and I'm sure it's
It's
both and
both and. Yep, nope, it's absolutely both then. We call it positive metagaming. So if you and I have characters and I know we need to accomplish a thing, I may come to you and like, hey, Matt, we need to do X, Y, and Z. I'm going to launch a scene. Are you okay with that? Do you have the bandwidth? Are you back home from the holidays, blah, blah, blah? And then we can kind of coordinate and go in that scene. Sometimes it's a complete surprise. And most of the time, I'm actually going to say it's probably more surprise than positive metagaming and pre-cultivation. Because you're playing political monsters who like to fuck each other over and backstab each other and wound each other and then wound themselves. So, like, I'm really excited about going to this event in Milwaukee. There's a good chance my character might die there, which will suck. I would grieve it for months. I really love this character. I'm having a good time with her. But there's a good chance I can get up there and somebody that I pissed off 6 months ago may kill me. No one is going to give me a heads up unless I get that intelligence somehow in character and I can prepare for it. Otherwise, I'm walking in completely into the blind. So it's a yes and situation. Now, I will admit, that charge is part of the reason that makes the experience fun, because you really do never know what's going to happen or when.
Yeah. So I mean, my mind goes to the mechanics of it, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
like in the tabletop version of these games, these characters are tough. They're not just going to be like, it's not like just, a game of Mafia or whatever, where it's like, oh, we point at this person and they're dead.
Yeah.
Um, so how much of that is brought in where it's like, you're, are you playing with stats in that way,
Mm-hmm.
or
Yeah. Oh,
is it
here's what I'll
all
show you. I have a
more
whole character
narrative?
sheet. No, 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 no. We have mechanics and character sheets and really in-depth, antiquated, annoying, and frustrating combat rules. And yeah, oh no, there's a whole thing. So if you're using powers against each other, there's combat, there's death. Oh no, it's a pretty robust and annoying system. I hate it if you can't tell, but it's an old system. That game is using like the 1990s version of the rule set, where By Night Studios is using like the 2024 version of the rule set. I
Mm-hmm,
obviously have
hmm.
a
I
preference, but
think it, it's like a weird, it's like literally they're on the fifth edition of Vampire, I think. So it's like
yeah,
the
fifth, yep,
like the big ampersand game is fifth edition right now,
yep.
and then also Vampire is fifth edition. It's like they tried to, I don't know, there has to be some marketing feedback loop on Renegade's part or something like that, that they're like, oh, let's do another
Right.
edition, that we can all be fifth edition. I don't know. Anyway,
Right. Trying
I
to
don't know.
streamline things, but no, no, no. It's a super, baby.
So
It's a
you
super
got to
interesting
have
event.
like somewhere tucked up in your corset, you got to have like a big pool of D6 or D10s to like roll your dice, or is it,
Oh,
or do you do?
gorgeous. So with a LARP, your reconciliation or chops. You're playing paper, rock, scissors, bomb with people,
Mm.
which it's supposed to streamline things. In this particular edition, it doesn't. In the newer one, it does. But like, no, if this is gonna be one of those things where I'm gonna walk up to you and I want to dominate you into, self-torping yourself, we're actually doing, we're throwing on three, two, one. Okay, my rock beats your scissor, blah 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 blah. But I have these modifiers, I have these bonuses, I have this
Mm.
item that gives me a retest on this, but you have a merit that gives you a cancellation on this, and da 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 da.
All right, so there's not dice checking breaking out at little cocktail
Mm-mm.
tables.
We run over, start throwing dice. No, we're reconciling in real time with paper, rock, scissors.
All right, all right.
Yeah,
I,
which baby is super intense because if
I,
like
I
this is
imagine, I imagine,
it's it's
like,
really intense.
I get, like, I've been to like crowded rooms full of people, and everybody's like
Mm-hmm.
kind of, talking and drinking, and then like if somebody taps you on the shoulder and they're like doing, hey, I'm gonna use my like power stare at you here, like
Yeah,
resolve right now. You're like, oh
right.
no, what? I
What the
wasn't ready for
hell?
this.
Oh yeah, you want to talk about getting your nervous system charged immediately. So just random, I was sitting at an event. This was Milwaukee this year, so January of 2025, and my character is a prince, so like the highest authority of Columbus, and I was sitting there with my harpy, Justicar, which is the highest authority in the Camarilla, and Bridgett was nervous talking to this player just because of what their office was, even though I know this player is like a sweetheart and a teddy bear in real life. But Bridget's nervous system was like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And there was another individual that's high powered that was sitting next to him. And we're in this scene and we're doing these political movings and shiftings, and I'm pushing back and they're pushing back. And I like, am I going to say something dumb? How can I keep the immersion? I need to keep this vicious cold stare I have on. And a storyteller walks into the scene, kneels down next to one of the guys, whispers something to him, and basically says, you're getting summoned. And if you're not familiar with the summoned ability, the summon is just somebody's able to connect with you magically, and you just have to immediately leave whatever situation you're in. You don't realize you're being summoned. You just know that you have to get up because you have a meeting or appointment, or you have somewhere that you need to be right then. And if you fail against it, somebody can walk you from the other side of the planet or the other side of the room into a situation that's typically an ambush and your death. So the storyteller walks in and he kneels down next to the guys, whispers something. I hear summon, and they start throwing chops. And they start throwing chops. And like the guy is losing. I'm going to do a retest for this, losing. I'm going to do a retest for this, losing. Okay, I'm going to bid this many traits. Storyteller checks his notes. He's like, okay, you succeed. And then the player goes, I'm going to roll an awareness chop to see if I'm aware that someone tried to use an ability against me. And he succeeds. And the storyteller goes, someone is trying to summon you out of this meeting somewhere else. And then the player just had to come back into character with us and pretend like none of that happened to us.
Yeah.
Even though he almost died right there. He was one chop, one merit, 1 point, one something from getting pulled away from this meeting, very likely into a boot squat. And then that player has to carry that through the rest of the game in the event. But he couldn't get up from this particular meeting because of who was all involved. So it's that type of intensity. Like I was watching this like, oh my God, I almost watched that character die.
Well, yeah, and I mean, I don't know that I want to start participating in these kind of events, right? Because that's a kind of intensity that like you love and I'm not sure that I love, but like I
Yeah.
can see the appeal of it, right? Where
Yeah.
it is because like what you're just describing does not happen if like at your friend's basement, like
Mm-mm.
that is not the kind of thing that occurs there. That is not the kind of game that is, you
Right.
know.
Right.
And there's nothing wrong with that. I mean,
No, not at all.
but it's you can't set up that. I mean, I guess if you tried, you could set it up that way or whatever.
You
But
can
like,
find a way to manufacture it, yes, but it's not inherently built into the experience.
right, right. I mean, it is for a different sort of play experience than like the beer and
Correct.
pretzel. I just want to kill some goblins in the dungeon kind
Correct.
of role playing experience that happens so often
Yeah.
um, with gaming with
And
gamers.
gorgeous, there's nothing wrong with it. Gaming is a whole menu. You find the
Mm,
vibe and the thing. It's like gaming is like the cheesecake factory of options. You want
that's right.
Mexican? Fucking get Mexican. If you want a burger, get a burger. You trying to get tofu? They got that too. You just here for the cheesecake? Well, get you a cheesecake, boo boo. It's literally what it
We got
is.
12 flavors of cheesecake.
Choose one. You don't like that? We'll make one up for you. We'll do a hybrid. Oh, you just want Asian food? Great. We got a whole Asian menu. Like you can sit down with all of your friends and then kind of cultivate your experience based on what you want. There's no right way to do gaming as long as you're
Mm,
safe and having fun.
there you go. That's it. Look, put that on the cover. That's a great little that's what else do you need? Like that's
Are you safe? Are you having fun? You're doing gaming right. To hell what anybody else says to you that
mm,
contrary to
mm,
that.
mm. All right. I love that. Bridget, we are near the end of our time
God,
together
that went
here.
fast.
I want to give you an opportunity to, if there's any of the other things that's happened in the last couple of years that you want people to know about, or anything we forgot, or anything else you want to say, uh, you know, say that now, and then I'll ask you to like, give us a closeout. Where can people find you? We talked about Symphony Entertainment in passing, so
Yeah.
you can hype that up. You can send people to your day job, whatever you want to do at the end. But before that, if there's any final thoughts or any sort of like news that you have to share about the last couple of years or what's coming up for your 2026.
Yeah. Yeah, baby. So I'll jump in and I'm just gonna focus on the something that you said just a moment ago where you're like, that sounds fun. I don't know if that's for me. It could be, but it's probably not. I think I'm just gonna jump in from a closing on experience
Oh yeah.
for you personally, viewer who's engaging with the content. So this is just different ways that you're welcome to reach out to me if you want some insight or perspective on one of these types of experiences. One of the things I do with Chaosium is I'm their community ambassador for self-publishing on the Miskatonic repository, which is basically the fan version of publishing your Call of Cthulhu content. And I help creators go from I have a cool idea in my head to actually monetizing on Drive Through RPG. So if you're a person that is considering writing for the Miskatonic repository, you would like to write your own Call of Cthulhu scenario, feel free to reach out to me.
You want to steal from Lovecraft or whatever
Yeah,
the
absolutely. You want to steal from Lovecraft or you want to create something better? I didn't think he was that good of a writer, but you can just be mad at me for all the times. We all have our preferences. Feel free to email me at Bridgett. That's a bridge that you walk across with 2 T's at chaosium.com. I'm more than happy to help you kind of facilitate the dream of self-publishing your own content. If you are interested in onboarding into any of the By Night Studios LARP experiences, feel free to email me at SymphonyEntertaintmentGA, gaming and art, so SymphonyEntertaintmentGA at gmail.com. I can get you plugged in with their marketing materials. I can get you an invite to their Discord server. If you are just like, I don't have $350 to go to LA and try it, there's chances are one of my Living Chronicle games somewhere close to you. And if there's not, a lot of these chronicles also play on Discord. So if you want to play a vampire on Discord, you're more than welcome to. I can help you on board with that. Shoot me an email with that as well. Or if you're going to be at Origins, we host an event there at Origins called Grand Elysium. Just email me and I can get you. You can literally walk in with a visitor's badge. Like if you were Matt and you was like, let me do it for 20 minutes to see if I care. We can slap a visitor's badge on you. The event is free. We're usually in the Taft ABCD rooms on the Hyatt end of the convention center. You can walk in, follow me around for 20, 30 minutes and be like, this is awesome. Sign me up for more. Or be like, nah, this is some bullshit. I'll talk to you later. I'm going to the food court. Either of our valid responses. Outside of that, baby, I think the only other thing I would promote through experience is if you are considering streaming and you're afraid to do it because you either don't think you have the right equipment or you've never done it before or you're afraid you're going to look dumb, or if you're streaming curious, please reach out to me at the same SymphonyEntertaintmentGA.com. We do have a Twitch channel. We do a lot of content, and one of the things I'm very focused on is onboarding new streamers. I can make it safe. I can make sure that you have the equipment that you need, and really it's a headset. You don't need the sexy shit that I have. As long as we're not listening to feedback loops on you talking through your computer, we can make most things work. Matt has been on the platform before. We'll keep you safe, we'll support you, and we'll at least get you that experience. Once you do it once, chances are 10 out of 10 people that have done it so far with me get addicted to it, love it, and they go on to stream and perform on other platforms. But if you just need a safe place to onboard, feel free to email me. I'll get you a link to our Discord. I do casting calls pretty regularly, so if you want to stream, if you've never done it before and you're afraid, Symphony can bridge the gap between your fear and you actually doing it. So I think, yeah, I think that's it, Matt. I think I'm going to go just from an experience standpoint. If you want to connect in any of these experiences I'm doing, here's how you can.
And you have Symphony Entertainment has a Discord that is extremely active. You talk about casting calls, like that's where those casting calls happen, right?
Yes, sir.
So
Yep.
if you're enjoying the Twitch content, then come join the community. And you know,
Yes.
it's one of those Discord communities where there's like everything you want, from like book recommendations to pet picks to like the casting calls to like,
Yep.
you know, the discussion of the content to like, you know, what's your opinion on this new TTRPG stuff? It's
You
all
constantly post.
conversations are happening there.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like you always post in our not the wildlife channel, but the channel
Or
where it's
I
like
think it's called the Green
nature,
Oasis.
the green oasis.
That's the one I lurk
Oh,
in. I'm
I
always
love your
that's
posts there. I really do. I really do. Because you just drop in and you just drop some splash of color or some type of emotion in Flora, and then you wander away. And it's just I enjoy watching you in that channel. I really
well, it's the thing I know the most about, right? Like
do.
you're I haven't read all those spooky books that you know, Buko likes to talk about. So I'll just share a picture of some birds I saw.
Listen, come as you are, honey. We got a space for you.
Bridgett, thank you so much for being with me today, for being my guest, for talking through like catching up on 2 years of like what you've
Yeah.
been up to and stuff like
Whew.
that. It's you're a shining light in the industry, and I'm glad that we're known to each other
Me
in this
too.
industry, and you
Me
know,
too.
connected through both you know, games and publishing, and also like just being real people in the world in the same place at the same time. So
Thank you. Thank you for having me. And honestly, genuinely, thank you for all the work. It matters. And I really appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
well, until until the next time, you know, you're on the list of people to call when we got other stuff to write.
Oh,
So
yeah. Listen, I appreciate it. And hopefully I get on again before 2027. We'll aim for a 2026 interview.
oh, that too, for sure.
Yeah.
Uh,
We'll do annuals now.
sure, of course.
I
Uh,
love I just invited myself onto your platform. Matt, have me back.
well, look, we're not going to have time to like have a lengthy conversation at Gen Con. We already know that. So like,
Right.
yeah,
Yep.
might as well have a schedule a yearly interview instead.
Bam.
Um,
I love the way we talk to each other. I love the way we work together. This is good. Thank you genuinely for having me on,
uh,
baby. I appreciate it.
once again, thank you for being here. Thanks everybody for watching. Go check out all of Bridget's stuff. It'll be linked below. And I don't know, tell us something about you know, what's your greatest vampire story? Tell us that,
Ooh,
share that in the
sexy.
comments.
That's good. Oh, I like this. Yeah. Bye, guys. Thank you.